Today I want to talk to you about, are you changing at the pace your customers are? As a customer who hasn't experienced some form of change this year, whether it's online learning for university students rather than lecture theatres, e-commerce versus heading to the mall, grocery delivery or meal solutions rather than Saturday supermarket dashes, or Netflix binging rather than a night out at the movies. A recent McKinsey study I read said 89% of businesses believe the changes will stick post-COVID. As organisational leaders and owners, the way we engage with our customers has changed forever. Interestingly, how many of our businesses are changing quick enough in response to these pressures? A key focus for me at the moment when working with clients is looking to understand how they are adapting from a strategic perspective, but then spending a lot of time with them working out how to rapidly change their organisations to respond. At a basic level, and in thinking about the Cube model I've referenced previously, the key headline questions that I always ask are, number one, how does the work need to change to best meet the changing customer needs? Secondly, what structure will best enable these new interactions? Third, what processes need to change now and how do we use technology to support this? 4, what should we be measuring and how do we use this to change behaviours? 5, what retraining or new talent do we need? 6, how do we learn from and react to customers' needs real time? And then lastly, how does our culture evolve to support customer needs? Now, if all you want are 7 questions to start a conversation, there they are. However, let's take banking as an example when thinking about these questions. They started from a very traditional model that has been evolving for some time, but COVID has driven a need for faster adaptation and change. Given it's a key part of all of our lives at present, who hasn't been staying close to their finances for whatever the reason, it's a good reference point to then think about the application back to your own businesses. So question 1, changing the nature of work. Firstly, you're seeing a greater focus on the UX of the online platforms, which for me personally has meant multiple positive changes to the experience over the last 12 months. This requires resources, whether it's people, time, investment, versus the fact that they're gaining these efficiencies to allow for this increased investment by reducing the store footprint, bringing in smart ATMs and mobile banking trucks. The second question, changing the structure. Banks are reducing branch hours, but using the people and space to operate as additional contact centre resources given the heightened demand. As such, removing a need to hire more contact centre people and find additional office space, especially when people are looking at reducing their footprints. The process question. When setting up accounts and or loans, we are now seeing less face-to-face process steps and time delays, far greater use of online tools, which also allows the whole thing not to be tied to branch hours. The metrics question, rather than thinking about NPS for all customers, levels of analysis now compare the experience by a channel. Not only does this reinforce the desire for people to engage far more digitally, but also reinforces where investment is required through every step of the online customer journey. The people question, there continues to be a lot of development focused on creating universal bankers who, if in a branch or on the phone as Tier 1 support, can answer a far greater variety of questions. This in turn reduces the breadth of individual specialists required, the process steps, the handoffs and the frustrations that can sometimes cause. When it comes to continuous improvement, which is question 6, banks know their experience must evolve, especially as other options are now available for people. As more data and insights are collected from each channel and on the customers who use them, coupled with insights from other industries on what amazing service looks like, it all helps inform the look and feel of all engagements. I reluctantly had to go to a branch recently and it was a fundamentally different and very positive experience than in the past. And then the last question around culture. Significant challenges are being faced in relation to the cultural disconnects across the banks. On one hand, they're having to manage the impacts of the reduced branch footprint and what that means for those still there, both in store and in the community within small parts of New Zealand, while at the same time there's an excitement about the experiences and engagements being created through the other channels. So in summary, we are all being impacted as business owners in relation to how we engage with our customers. The critical difference is where in the past we may have been able to control to some degree the pace of change, COVID has forced the rate of evolution to be far greater as customers take control and expect far more. Challenge for you is, are you asking the right questions and focusing on the right things to set yourself up for success? Thanks a lot. If you'd like to know anything else or have a discussion about the above, my contact details are on the website. Thanks a lot.